this is Clubhub321. This is a video about comparing several browsers. I just set my Pandora so it will automatically start up Wi-Fi on boot, so I can make sure that we have a fresh start with every single attempt. So I'm just going to restart my Pandora, and while it's restarting, I'll just show you some trivia real quick. When I opened Pandora's box, it was not like, well, here, just take a look. It was more like this. I got this box. It has all this cool stuff on it. So I ripped open this little security thing here, cut some tape there that's kind of, you know, the cheap kind of tape that's just rarely applied. Cut the tape there, and I also have this nice little hole from the nice mailing system. It was like, oh yeah, it's a box, and it had some pink bubble wrap, which I don't seem to have in here right now. So it came with a pamphlet, which I have not actually decided to read, because I'm not that kind of guy. But anyway, there's stuff in there. So I'll just put the box away, and let's go back to my Pandora here. So the browsers I'll be testing today include, let's see here what's on the desktop. I have the icon super small so I can have a ton of them on, but we have first Firefox 4 Beta 10, Chromium Dev, which is the compiled version by Evil Dragon, Jumanji as compiled by zloud, Jumanji by somebody else on the repo.openpandora.org, Midori 0.3.3, this is not the system version, which in my own opinion, sucks, Lightweight 2, NetSurf, Lynx Browser, and Lynx 2 and eLynx. I'm pretty sure Lynx 2 and eLynx are very, very similar. So let's start with Firefox 4. So I'm just going to go get my stopwatch ready to see how long it takes. I'm not going to do anything like regression testing or average testing. I'm just going to show you what it seems to be on the first boot. So I'm going to pick Firefox 4 and my fingers ready to press. I have my watch ready. So I'm going to press. Okay, I see lights flickering over there on the SD. Still kind of flickering. Okay, and there it is. 11 seconds, that's pretty much it. So, let's try something like, it seems to not be immediately reactive when it first starts. So, let's try, no, not that. Let's try Google's website. So, as you can see, it's okay. Oh, and I also got Fennec. Apparently I didn't put it on the desktop or something. So don't forget about that. So here's Firefox 4. The scrolling is nice. It's very reactive in terms of that. So let's try something a bit more heavy like YouTube. So now I'm connecting to YouTube. It's apparently reading the flash card, probably sticking something into swap or loading plugins. So I have an ad here because I haven't bothered to put an ad block. So I have a bunch of random entries here. I'm not actually logged in, I don't think so anyway. Yeah, I'm not logged in. So I'm going to search for my username. So my username comes up as the only result, which is fine. So here I have some stuff. So let's try one of my videos called test center where I did a time lapse. Here we go. So it seems like we have a semi-working version of Flash here. I don't know what's up with that red bar, but whatever. So let's try to go up a little bit. So it is playing this Flash video. It's not playing it, well, it seems to be playing at a decent speed now. Well, not right now. Apparently it does not do very well after scrolling, and it's trying to load an ad. I do not care about ads. Go away. So it seems to be somewhat active, but ads on the sides slow it down. But overall, I would say it's very usable. And as you can hear, I got music going. So it seems to be jumping mainly when the ads switch around. So maybe with the ad block plugin that might work better. So let's add a new tab and close this one. So let's see here. It seems to have all of the normal features of Firefox, such as preferences, add-ons, and so on, which are not platform specific usually. But it seems that opening certain things. Let's try preferences. Okay, so it's not responding right now. Cannot tell you why. It does not seem to be exiting either. So I'm going to restart, and this video will continue with the next browser. Okay, so we are back now. I guess the next thing I will try out is the next part of Firefox's or Mozilla's legacy, which is Fennec. So I'm going to go and launch it from over here. Fennec is the kind of mobile version of Firefox, which is not like, I don't think the version I have is like using the same engine as Firefox 4 or anything, but is generally okay. So far it's taken about 7 seconds. Hopefully it is starting. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, so Fennec apparently is failing now because it says it cannot remove the .mozilla folder. Congratulations, I don't care about the Mozilla folder, and it shouldn't be even touching my my normal user folder anyway if it were set up correctly. So let's try this again. Fennec. Fennec is already running. Okay, so I'm going to kill. So I've now killed Fennec with PSAX and kill-9. So let's try this again. It worked once and it crashed and died. So it's apparently hating me. I guess Fennec's not going to work today. But last time I attempted to use Fennec, it actually crashed the entire device and I had to remove the battery. And at that time I did not know about the secret command of using the PND button and the power switch, and it will reset the device from the hardware. So I'm just going to minimize this and let's ignore Fennec. So now I've got Midori 0.3.3. So let's go and pick that. So I'm going to reset my stopwatch again. Okay, 0. So let's try this. And hopefully, okay. So it took about 7 seconds to actually get to YouTube on first startup, which is cool. It seems that Flash just shows a black box. I'm not expecting it to work right now. So, okay. Oh, and on Firefox, dragging the page did not work. Dragging the page works semi-okay inside of Midori. It likes to select things stupidly, but it's got a little bit of momentum to the dragging, which is okay. So let's try something where I've got, let's see here, NY times, let's see how this site works out. Hopefully you can see this. So it's loading the New York Times, and it seems to be doing okay. So obviously it's got a lot of content. It looks like it's mostly displaying correctly. We've got like I think this is Nash, which allows us to enable flash on certain things. So that's cool. Let's see what in the world happens if I try that. Come on. I'm not trying to drag the page. Well, that's not necessarily nice. I think that displays enough of the Midori. So let's just kind of compare the old Midori. First, I'll point out that the current Midori has everything very well organized at the top. We've got a new tab, left, right. I have no clue what the skip forward button is. Probably means go to the last page visited. Refresh, favorite. Of course, the URL bar, Google search. I'm not sure what this trash thing means, and the tools menu, which has all the stuff like what you would see in file, edit, and so on, which might be mixed together. So I guess I'm just going to exit out of here and kind of compare what the old Midori, that's the system version, it looks like, just so you can see the difference between the compiled one from the community and the Midori that we have on our system by default. So as you can already see, we have no tools button over here. We have all this stuff is stuck up here, which is okay. So this one, it sort of drags pages better. The system one probably has better configuration. But there are a few weird things with it that just do not work right, like Craig's, in my opinion, horribly coded App Store. So that's the end of Midori. I'm going to reset now. Okay, so we are back now. So let's try links and e-links. From what I know, they are console-based or V-like in terms of how they act. So they should not take too much memory. So let's try links 2. It just came up within 1 second. It looks like it's still loading the main interface or something. So let's maximize this. Maybe it wants me to press G. Okay, so apparently it's immediately active. So let's try my website, or let's try acid3 .acid tests. I think it's .com, not .zom. So apparently that's not it. So let's try to go to Google.com. Okay, so we apparently have image support, and clicking somewhat works. I'm not sure what is going on here. So let's try typing in here acid3. Okay, so apparently this is what it looks like in the search mode. So let's try acid3 tests. Looking up the host. It looks like it's .org. Okay. So let's try this again. Come on. Request sent. Okay, don't have JavaScript. Cool. So let's try YouTube just to see how screwed up it looks like. So it's making the connection. So it seems to be kind of slow at making connections. It probably doesn't do pipelining or something. So we seem to have image support, not very advanced CSS support though. It probably doesn't have any at all, because these looks like H2s, H2 there, link, and a text box. So that's it for links. So let's try the links browser with a Y. Okay. We have something come up and it crashes. So the links browser is broken on my system, and I have checked the run before ever testing it on this camera, and it just opens and closes, and there are no errors that show up in the PND run out. So let's try elinks. It seems to be a more black version that shows up. So let's try to go to Google.com to see if it looks exactly the same. So it seems this is purely text-based. So let's let's try acid. No, that's not what I want. L. Control L. I don't even know what they want me to do here. Alt L. Okay. Alt C. No. Alt C. Come on. No. I want to type. No! Okay. Obviously, it's not very useful. So, I guess that's... Well, it's not useful because I don't know how to use it, and the controls don't seem very obvious. It's probably really nice for looking up stuff like, I guess, man pages. But you can do that in V or Nano anytime. So, that's it for the links category. I'm going to restart now for our next test. Okay, so we are back now. So it seems that a couple things have switched around on my desktop, but I'm going to try for this round Lightweight 2 and Net Surf. So let's try Lightweight 2 to see how it goes. So it's taken about 4 seconds to start up. The UI, in my opinion, is not too pretty, but I guess it's lightweight, so whatever goes. So let's use Google to search for Google. And it seems to display things okay, and it looks like it's loading images still. So it seems to have good CSS support. Let's try YouTube next. I have no clue how to put in a custom URL. So I'm going to use Google Services to Google YouTube. Okay, so let's try YouTube out. It probably has several images, which will slow down the loading process. Okay, it actually seems to be doing quite well. So browsing it seems like it's a heavy task for it to do right now, but it seems to be still doing some loading down there, or it was. There is absolutely no dragging features. So let's see how well it performs with the ACID 3 test. The ACID 3 test is mainly a test to see how much your browser can do and work with horribly coded stuff and execute JavaScript. This is mainly a good test to see how fast it can update its display and emulate JavaScript. So it seems to be doing it all correct. So this means pretty much that you should be able to get a perfect, well, you should get a mostly correct display for whatever pages you view on Lightweight. You probably do not have Flash support. I guess I can go visit my own site to see if it has it. Because I have not updated my site in like 4 years, and I still have a Flash banner at the top. Otherwise it will just say hello, but it doesn't seem like it has anything there. It just has this little kind of plugin icon, and apparently it does not support replacing the inside of an embed with the text in case the plugin is not supported, which I guess is not 100% correct. But okay, so let's go and try out NetSurf now. Okay, so it's been almost 8 seconds now, maybe 10, 12. Okay, so it cannot resolve the host HTTP. Okay, that does not seem like a smart error to display to me. Okay, so let's try my site again. Okay. So it's apparently processing the document or something. Okay, so this actually displays the sorry I failed embed code that says welcome. It seems to be displaying things correct. As far as I can tell, it seems to be missing some padding there, but whatever. Let's search ACID3 here. So it seems that searching opens up new tabs instead of the current tab. I prefer the current tab, but it seems that we do not have scripting enabled. I wonder if we have that option in the preferences. So preferences, okay, rendering, it doesn't seem to have that. Style, catch, advanced. So it does not seem to have anything regarding JavaScript in here. Apparently it can disable pop-up windows, but I don't see how pop-up windows can come up without JavaScript in the first place. So I'm just going to close out for now. So let's try something else. I guess we haven't tried YouTube on NetSurf yet. So I apparently have 3 tabs open now, but I'm going to go visit YouTube. So it's taking a long time. It took 6 seconds to process the document. That's kind of long. It does not seem to be loading too well. Seems to be under heavy stress. There we go. I have no clue what it's trying to do right now. Okay, so we have something here. That's not displaying correctly. And for some reason it likes to scroll like to random places. This must be an image-based thing, not Flash. So it doesn't seem to be good for that. So that's the end of NetSurf. Now to try out Chromium, and then I've got 2 different Jumanjis here. This kind of I guess neutral colored one is one from the repo, and this one over here is Zloud's version, so I'm going to try that after I do the next restart. So apparently my camera turned off, and I've got to bring up Chrome again, but so I'll just tell you what happened. It took about 7 seconds to load, and then it took about 3 seconds to load my site. So the first thing I'm pointing out here is that it has some sort of battery icon, which has a question mark on it, meaning it's unable to tell the status. The same thing is in regards to this, oh, that's funny, this internet status thing, which has entries that say fake Wi-Fi connected, fake Wi-Fi encrypted, fake Wi-Fi blah blah, other Wi-Fi network, cellular network, fake cellular, and so on. Obviously it is a very developer version, and it was cheaply implemented. It was compiled by Evil Dragon, if I remember correctly, and I'm all fine with that. And the time seems to be 1 hour less up here than what it shows down here. Not sure what's up that. I already had the time wrong here in the first place, but I don't really care right now because I had to take out the battery a couple times. So, I guess the first thing you notice is that we do not have any sort of dragging momentum feature like Pandora. We're obviously missing plugins for Flash, which is okay. So I'm going to try out the ACID 3 test. So let's try it out. It seems to update a lot faster and execute JavaScript a lot faster, and it seems to render things quite a lot better. Google did a good job with this addition of their their own product here. So I guess next I'm going to try out YouTube. But I'm going to point out here, you see this black outline? That is what's supposed to be a kind of shadow area, which is failing to grab the content behind to apply it to. It seems to be rendering in, I guess, 24-bit spaces as opposed to 32-bit layers or whatever. I'm not experienced in that field, so forgive me if I pretty much give you botulism for saying stuff like that. So obviously it says here that I need Flash Player for stuff, so it's not really implemented here. So it seems to move around quite fast, and as opposed to like NetSurf. So let's just take a look at RAM usage. And I have 5 megabytes free. Great. So this browser is obviously quite heavy on memory, but it can handle multiple tabs. So I'm just going to open up that. I'm going to go to, I guess, let's see here, nytimes.com. So let's just put up some load on this. Let's go to purple.com. Whose only purpose in life is to display the color purple. Okay, so obviously I've got a couple tabs open now. One to my site, which hasn't seemed to, I guess it took a while to load the process into the current window. Obviously I'm able to scroll around with some efficiency. The scroll bar doesn't seem to drag nicely, or drag at all for that matter. So that's fine, I guess, and let's just take a look at how much RAM we're using currently. It says 4.4 megabytes, so obviously it's doing a good job at catching stuff. Currently there's 91 megabytes of information cached over the entire system. So there's purple.com for you. Hopefully you enjoyed that. But I'll point out something else. There is no exit button on here. So you have to, well, that's interesting. It's Chromium OS. I did not notice that. Okay, so I'm just going to sign out here. I guess just quit the application. So that's that for Chromium. I just updated Jumanji the latest version according to zcloud within the last 3 minutes. So I'm going to restart again so I can display the difference between the two Jumanjis, and then I guess I will just poke around with the other few things. Okay, so we're back now. So let's try out Jumanji. Let's try the old version first, which is only like 350 or so K. So we of course have this screen here, some untitled page. Okay, I don't care. I do not remember how to go anywhere. Okay, so I press O, and then it does the open command. So I'm going to try my site. Okay, so it's loading. Okay, so it has good image support. It seems to scroll well, and it's got some decent CSS support. I would not say that it's necessarily the best, but it's probably because of how things are on the screen. So apparently it does not automatically adjust the page to the current way. So we seem to have the ability to load an external plugin for Flash, probably Nash. and again it fails to work. It doesn't seem to be responding overall. It's probably really not liking stuff, and it's acting like I'm trying to copy something. Okay, so I'm going to go to somewhere else. Let's try YouTube. Okay, seriously, you could drop this icon now. So I'm going to try typing in something, test center. Come on, you can go. Okay, so I'm enabling the Flash kind of plug-in thing here. See how well Nash does. Nash does not seem to be doing anything. I am not having high hopes with Nash. It seems like an icon is missing here that should be there, a down arrow. So let's try the acid 3 test. So let's see if it runs. So it's going through, and it says it's 100 out of 100. So it displays a lot of things correctly, but doesn't seem to display everything correctly. It thinks it's displaying everything correctly, so I guess that's good for it. I'm going to exit out now to try out the next Jumanji. So this is the green one from Z Loud. This is the first run dialogue. Okay, I don't care. Choose something. I'm obviously not Debian. Please enter in a URL. Okay. Let's try my site. So it looks pretty much exactly the same on the first run. It sort of looked like those dialogues were Zenity. I'm not sure about that. So far, display is not correct. Neither is it responding. Okay, so that was just lag in processing the page that caused the display error. It seems to be trying to load something with Flash there, but failing. So I'm going to go open. Open. No. Oh. Okay. Acid 3. Okay. So far it seems to have loaded this page better and faster. So let's try something else. Not GONY times. So it's trying to load the New York Times page. Breaking news, world news, and multimedia in a color that's a bit difficult to read. Okay. But there is the title up here, which is okay too. So scrolling is okay. It seems to lag on the drawing a bit. Apparently there's a percentage that tells me how far I'm down the page, which I guess is nice considering I don't actually have a scroll bar. So let's see how Flash does in this. Apparently it crashed it. Okay, I guess that's it for Jumanji. So I'm going to try out. Let's see what else I have in my network category here. I had 2 entries for Jumanji, of course. NetSurf, Pandora, I already tried that. I guess the only thing left to try out is the built-in Aurora browser. So it does load quite quickly. It's usually the default used for stuff like documentation. Apparently it took a while to load the main content, so it was probably still loading everything through the RAM and kicking out the cache from the last browsers. So I'm going to try out the Acid 3 just to see how it does. It seems to be slow at responding right now, and it has crashed. Let's try the way downloading just sucks in this browser, just so you know. It does not work. Might be fixed in hotfix 6. I am not sure. So it seems to be crashing again. I'm going to restart and see how it turns out. So we're back now. I guess I'm going to try out Aurora again, and perhaps Fennec if it doesn't refuse to work. That was cool. It does not seem to be fast at responding right now. I'm not sure what's up with that. So it says search. So far it hasn't crashed. Let's try it. So it says it's got 100 out of 100, but it says you should not see this in the top left corner. So it has a rendering issue, but okay. ZLoud encourages me to try out the Debian lips on his version of Jumanji. So let's try D for using Debian libraries, and let's try my website. So apparently he probably included two different sets of libraries. I'm not sure why. Supposedly one acts better than the other, probably the Debian ones, but I cannot be sure. So let's try to go to openhandhelds.org. I think that's what he wanted. Yeah. So let's try this out. So this is Ed's file archive. So let's click on the Pandora, see how things are. It seems to mostly render correctly. So, and it scrolls quite fast now. So I guess because he wanted me to compare things, I will do so. Let's try going back to Jumanji. Let's use the native libraries and openhandhelds.org. Well, that is interesting. The rendering is very different using the native libraries compared to the Debian libraries. I guess this is what he wanted to show me. It's probably because the site was not coded by the best person, but scrolling is equally as fast, but rendering is questionable. That is all I can say for Jumanji for now. So Fennec does not work for me, and Lynx does not work for me. I've never gotten Lynx to work, but when Fennec did work, it was very heavy, slow, and it actually crashed my device again. So I would say the overall browser is, well, it really depends on what you want. Chromium seems to handle a lot of tabs. Firefox seems to have Flash, which I guess is nice. Pandora seems to be quite fast too. These other ones, I'm not into pure text, neither am I into half text, half images. Lightweight and NetSurf are interesting. Apparently you can't have enough browsers for the Pandora, but I would not necessarily recommend them for the normal user. The top three I would recommend is actually Pandora, Chromium, and or Firefox. Chromium seems to be Chromium OS or some sort of hybrid. I'm not sure quite what. So this is Clovo321 signing out.